We're ready to do the newspapers. Mamavi is also ready. Mamavi, good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland Walker. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Nice.
I'm good. I love your top. This one was also made by...
This is actually Woodine and this is Ajoa Yeboah. Usually it's supposed to be on Thursdays and Fridays, but you won't believe it. I thought today was a Thursday.
Well, what's today's date?
So I missed. Today is a Wednesday.
Today's a Wednesday.
I am going ahead.
Ahead of time.
No.
Okay, so let's take you to traffic.com.gh, the main portal for you to look at the traffic situation every morning as you make entry into our capital, Accra. We have to start with the bypass road, the airport city, overlooking the airport city area. But before we do that, let's take a look at, well, the ring road. The main ring road. So this is the update we have. Rather, we're seeing some congestion when you're coming from the Kwame Nkrumah interchange area heading to the ring road. And so if you're coming from that joint heading to Kanda, etc.
These people are making a U-turn and there's a traffic light that's holding them.
No, not this one. I'm talking about these main ones.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
after. These ones, of course, they're just making the short way. But look, it looks like the road will be a bit congested this morning. Time check in the studio, some 35 minutes past the hour of 6. It will mean that, look, you have to be ready, up and about, and make sure that you use this route wherever you're going to, the industrial area and all those areas linking central Accra. Let's go to the next joint, and we're looking at the... Okay, we have to refresh this. It's ready. And this is the Tema roundabout. It's the link that will make sure that you get entry onto the Accra Tema motorway or get onto the main road leading to the Tema township. Or if you're going to areas around Adansege, you can also use this route. It looks like today is better for those who are coming from Prampram, Dowenya, Chopoli, Dawa. All of those areas, you can have access. You're coming from Somanya, or even, let's say, Kpong and onwardly Afienya, Kakasunaka, and all those areas around Michelle Camp. The route is free today. I don't know why. I can't explain. So make sure that you take your time. It means that you have some leeway to play around the time. We give the feedback. The lenses have been cleaned, and so now you can have a good feed. This is overlooking the airport shell, and before then, the usual traffic situation is a go slow after the runabout. Before then, you'll have some great difficulty. The link areas around these joints connecting the polo joints or the Polo Club area will take you from the Spinters Road. And for those who will be using the Spinters Road towards Tetekwashi, if you're getting some traffic ahead of you, you can make that detour, get to the Polo Club area, join a little bit of traffic before the airport runabout, and then straight away get through the main stretch that will take you beside Holiday Inn, the Vodafone head office, the former UT Bank head office, and then you get to Avians and 37, or you go to Elwak, you can still use this route as well. So a good road around the airport city area. Now let's go to Bema Camp. Let's go to the Bema Camp Gifford Road. There's always a connecting route, and we have to always remind ourselves that there's this connecting route that will link you through the Airport Hills area, or from the Flower Pots roundabout on the Spinters Road. That will take you through to the Palace Mall. You can use this route, get onto Elwak. It's free. It's free, so use it quickly as possible. And then you want to go to Bema Camp, you want to go to Labadi, areas around Peshi, Teshi, you want to make that connecting route. It's easy for you to do. So there's only a bit of traffic getting to the traffic intersection that will lead you to Elwak. But beside that, everything is free. The opposite end is even better. Now let's look at the last section, the Tetekwashi interchange area. And it's a place that's always a beehive of traffic. But it looks like this morning it's free. I don't know what's happening to us, the residents and those of us who work in Accra. I don't know whether Wednesday is a relaxing time. Maybe the meeting dates or the meeting times have been put or pushed forward. So it looks like it's a free road. You're coming from Tema and the other diagonal section also. It's easy for you from Medina, Zongo Junction, Reyes, Adenta. Look, it's a free for all situation we have just around Tetekwashi. That's good. Not a bad time.
All right. Right in time for us to look at the newspapers. We've got quite a number in the studio. I'll do the Daily Graphic, the Finder as usual, the Daily Statesman as well, and Roland will do the rest of the newspapers. So let's begin. The Daily Graphic newspaper, front page, demand for new districts, waits for EC, President asks traditional authorities. Also, ITU partners NCA for quality service training. Echima signs sister city partnership with no, that story is on page 23, the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Back page, 37 military hospital gets new oxygen production plans, and work to resume on Cocoa Roads according to the roads minister, Mr. Amwa Kwanta. And then in the center spread, happening this Easter, Kwewus to eat from same Iowa. That's in the center spread of the paper. You might want to check out. It's a feature, kind of. They're going to eat from the same Iowa. As in every Kwewu person. How is that possible? That's why you have to check it out. Let's do the Finder. Premix 4, government saves 36 million Ghana cedis. Minister promises 80,000 fisheries jobs. Also, Ofuswampo for Kweku Buahen granted 100 Ghana cedis bail each. SEC orders Gold Coast Fund to cease taking new investment. Is also another headline on the front page of the paper. GRA to introduce payment of tax via mobile money. Let's finish off with the Daily Statesman, at least with the papers that I am looking at. Front page, let's empower our own, says NDC's Seidu Agongo. And Mahama endorses NDC assault plan, storms court to support Ofuswampo for over explosive tape in courts. Also secure Ghana's benefit, President tells new regional ministers. Those are the front page headlines when you grab the Daily Statesman newspaper. Roland Walker.
Okay, so let's go to the Gold Street. We start with the Gold Street. I start with it. The Gold Street Business. It has on the front page an interesting story. It says PDS government move to resolve power sector financial stress. And financial problems confirmed as a major reason behind the outages. I had a couple yesterday evening, some few hours apart. I don't know whether I should always be smiling in the morning when I come through it, but that's the situation we live with. There's consistent power outage that are witnessed by us, the consumers, for reasons not well explained. I think we've passed the 12 days that was given us the initial time period for normalcy to be returning. And
this is the new normal, apparently.
Yeah, this is a new normal.
This is a new normal.
I love the phrase. Or the sentence. This is a new normal. New normal. And other stories we have on the front page of the Gold Street Business. We have CBG, that's Consolidated Bank Ghana, to get 4.4 billion Ghana cedis in new liquidity from monetization of government bonds. Deposits now growing too. Okay. SIGA, law imminent, new authority to replace the SEC. SIGA is State Interest and Governance Authority bill, and if passed into law the next couple of months, is expected to be one of the main means by which we address problems facing state-owned enterprises. It's going to replace the State Enterprises Commission. That's what it's going to replace. Okay. Those are the stories. Okay. Now let's get to the Independent. The Independent has on the front page, Techi Mainhene joins advocacy for extension of presidential tenure. We had a former President John Ejekom Kufuor, when he was leaving office or had led office, then he first made all that pronouncement about 4 years for a presidential term not being enough. We're talking the Independent newspaper. And we've had calls since, also advocating same, either from civil society or some prominent political commentators or personalities. Now we have Techi Mainhene joining advocacy for extension of presidential term. Mahama in court to solidarize with Ofosuampofo Boahin. He's the leader of the NDC. We have the publisher. The publisher has on the front page, Mahama storms court over Ofosuampofo tape. Government not privatizing Kutuka airports, according to the minister. There's another paper, though, that's telling us that really is not the case. And it seemed to be publishing on the front page, a leaked front page or cover of a leaked memo. And it is the Herald. So the Herald newspaper, or the Herald, has the story. Government gives away new Kotoka airport to a tech. Okay, and there's a person there, or a picture there with the name Dr. Mustafa Sani Sene. And it's captioned, lead cabinet memo confirms sole sourcing. And so you have a picture there being published by the Herald that says draft secret cabinet memorandum by the Honorable Minister for Aviation. Title, policy approval for the Ministry of Aviation to facilitate the engagement of TAV Airport Holding Company Limited for the management of the Kotoka International Airport, March 2019. Government puts NDC chiefs before commercial court over secret tape recordings. It's also on the front page. Hopes in Adoye's wife gets national security escorts. Up there we have State adopt new strategies to sustain scheme. Those are the stories we have. Now let's go to the Informer. Informer quickly has a story. NDC fights Akufo-Addo of political prosecution and dictatorial tendency. It says it won't allow vindictive president to erode Ghana's democratic gains. Men's Gold UK faces closure over expiration of license. And having been cleared by Yoko others, reinstate me now, Professor Avoke demands. And towards accident-free Easter, police to clamp down on drunk driving or drivers. Let's go to the Daily Guide newspaper. Has on the front page, NDC leaked tape. Mahama storms court for Ofosuampofo. NDC exposing NHIA investments. And Dangote praises Akufo-Addo's leadership is down there. Exonerated announced boy murder suspect released. If I was this guy and I was not guilty, I would sue. I don't know. His name is Abdul Rashid Mezongo. Fisheries Ministry saves 36 million Ghana cedis from premix fuel. Center spread, we have a couple of stories as well. But let's go to the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times has a story. Police deploy 14,000 personnel to ensure public safety during Easter celebrations. Yeah, that's what they're saying. First Lady unveils new FDA logo. President swears in Bono Oti regional ministers. Front page of the Ghanaian Times. And Ofosuampofo Kweku Boahin granted bail. A picture there of the NDC chairman. The last paper I'm looking at is the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Accra must get ready for total disaster, expert warns. And they've done a recall of a story that was published on March 26, 2019. That's the Daily Dispatch. And Ofosuampofo and Boahin to reappear on May 6, 2019. All right.
Okay. You're done? All right. Just going to say that we'll have Joseph Akable. He's our man in court. He was in court yesterday, and he will join us after AM Business. It's a Wednesday, and Wednesday is courtesy EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, will bring you business. So we'll bring you AM Business this morning, and after that, Joseph will join us. We'll talk about what happened in court, because interestingly, the former president was in court. He's making a lot of headlines in the newspapers, at least that angle of it. And I guess that's why the Statesman puts it this way. Mahama endorses NDC assault plan. Storms court to support Ofosuampofo over explosive tape. So the fact that he was in court as the chairman of the party and a deputy communications officer were in court to face conspiracy to cause harm, causing harm and assault charges. Did that represent anything in particular? We'll find out when we get to that conversation. But there's this bit about the former vice chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, who also spoke to the media yesterday. Just a bit of it. Page 20 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says, the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, Professor Mauto Avoka, has accused his successor, the Reverend Father Professor Anthony Afobroning, and the Chairman of the Governing Council of the University, Professor Emmanuel Nicholas Abaka, of instigating his removal from office. And they give us a quote from that briefing. He says, it has now become very clear that at least two persons, Reverend Father Professor Anthony Afroboning and Professor Emmanuel Nicholas Abakan, the chairman of the Governing Council, played very critical roles to ensure the wrongful removal of my colleagues and I from our various offices and positions in the university. The press conference, according to the former VC, had been necessitated by the fact that the current management of the university and its council had so manipulated the court system through unorthodox practices to get an application he had filed not to be heard till date. And he says, if not for that, he believed that his colleagues and himself were going to get justice through the due process they had filed at the courts. Professor Avoka listed acts by the parties in getting him and other officers dismissed and outlined proposals for solving the challenges at the institutions. There's a point where, Roland, he also says that he's forgiven these persons who ensured that he was out of the university. So Professor Avoka coming out finally and speaking, and also basing the fact that Yoko looked through the incident and cleared him, and saying that he should be reinstated. But here we are, we've got a vice chancellor. We've got a vice chancellor in place, and I wonder how we can reverse what has happened now. And
there was an investiture.
Exactly.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
And the thing too is that it looks like going through all that has happened, we seem to have set a bad precedent. It's not a good one. And so it also means that leadership of the educational ministry can, in the future, take any decision, and they would refer to what has transpired in relation to this current matter. And even months down the lane, if you look at how it's turned out, the governance of that institution, the University of Education, Winneba, and how it's been managed, it lent credence to the fact that perhaps we should have taken our time and better looked into the problems that were plaguing the university as far as its management and the relationships involved in the management practices of were related.
Yeah.
Before those decisions were taken. I think that time has come to tell us that we acted wrongly as a nation.
So who are we expecting really to address all these issues being raised by Professor Avoka? Who is going to be speaking? Who are we expecting?
Well,
is it the president?
No, it has to be the Ministry of Education. The difficulty too is that the president was the one who was at the investiture and spoke and even played a great role in the whole process of the investiture. So it's as if that the executive, led by the president, has endorsed something that it's almost like a blot on the practice of university management in our country. And at the end of the day, how do we then go back and correct it? And it not being just a face-saving activity, and ultimately government not, or even not the president, taking a political flag for it. And I think that perhaps we should have been a bit wiser in the way we looked at the spectrum in terms of all the things that were happening at the time and taking the decision. Because the decision that needed to have been taken, or perhaps the time that we needed to take, was in the interest of not only the individuals that were concerned, but the students. Because if the students are not there, there's the management of the university and the universities around our country have no business governing anything, because you have nobody to govern, you have nobody to manage, and no institution to govern at all. And those are some of the decisions that need to be looked at when we want to make some confidential decisions on whatever it is that has to be done for the management of the universities in our country.
Yeah.
I think this is a bad precedent. The gentleman says he has 6 months. If you look at what has transpired, all the things that have been the outcome of the court process, and the Yoko, which seems to be The main institution in investigating some of these incidents is now coming out with a report. We seem to exonerate him of any wrongdoing. Then we seem to have acted in bad faith.
Yeah, and I remember, and we've talked about it before, Professor Raymond Atugubwa, who was then Professor Avoke's lawyer, particularly when he went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court quashed that decision taken by the High Court and said that you have to hear the other party. He asked the question, would they reinstate Professor Avoke? And now we've complicated it so much, we're still asking the question. I guess we have to go.
You know, yesterday when he had a press conference and I read the details of what he said, and I had seen the Yoko report because consistently we've been doing issues of the University of Education whenever the Yoko reports were privy to it. And if you look at the time that we needed only to wait 6 months for his tenure to end. After that, you don't renew it. You know, you get to that point, and I don't think we did well. I don't think we did well.
There's a quick story, Roland. You have another story that you want to share. But there's, on the front page of the daily graphic, you know the regions that we've created, particularly the chief who are asking for the districts to be created as well. But the president on his tour yesterday said that they had to wait for the Electoral Commission to create constituencies, and then the districts will come. So he's asking them to be a bit more patient. You can read the rest of the stories in the Daily Graphic newspaper.
It looks like definitely we'll have some new districts, because if you look at, there seem to be overlapping.
So we'll have more constituencies, more MPs in Parliament then.
Yes, and that has great implication on the public purse, because it means that you buy new vehicles, you have to establish new district institutions, and you buy new accoutrements. You pay more people that you have appointed.
Is there still room in Parliament for more? Is there still room in the main chamber for a lot more MPs?
The current chamber we have. I know that
Job 600 is big enough. I think they still have empty offices, right?
Yeah, they do. They have a couple.
Okay, but
we can always make even the current offices smaller, or build new ones.
Let's use the few minutes we have on unless you have something else to do. I thought we would do my journal.
Okay, no problem. It's just the related issues of the airports, and whether there was any intention by government to privatize the management of the airport. And I know that the minister, Joseph Kofi Ada, has come to publicly say that there's no decision by government, but then sometimes we can just not ignore what the media reports have been so far. And it looks like the publication by the Herald, and even putting on its front page, we don't know whether it's true or not, but then it's a publication. And there's a segment we have to discuss, the cabinet memo and the minister coming. It just got me thinking and asking the question, is there nothing that we can do ourselves? Don't we have confidence in ourselves that we can do anything? Just manage our own airports and let it turn around and post a profit. We can't do that.
We had an airline, didn't we? Let's do myjoyonline.com. Roland, you ask a lot of questions. Okay, keep asking.
Yeah, because the minister is saying that the airport hasn't posted any profit, but we have a nice edifice.
Myjoyonline.com. This is a 22-year-old beauty queen stripped of her title for getting pregnant.
Which country is that?
She's a Bolivian beauty queen. She was stripped of her title for a breach of contract after officials found out that she
was pregnant at the time.
Pregnant. Well, they say is, so you can read the rest of the story on MyJoyOnline.
Yeah, she's still pregnant.
AEI proposes a $2 billion bond to boost agric sector. Who says you can't be pregnant and still be doing your advocacy unless there's something in particular they want somebody who's not pregnant to do? Yeah.
I'm sure she has a term of an agreement or a contract.
So as part of the contract, it says you can't be pregnant. So if you
but if it was in there, then it's a breach. She has breached it because she signed it, I believe.
Pregnancy is a natural thing. It's not something, okay, well. All right, let's finish off.
But if you sign an agreement, not ADI agreement, this is agric, right?
We've done this already. Can we move on? Oh, brilliant Ayers went to knock out Juve, and I am dreading because I know Manchester United is coming up next. Hopefully not. Okay, thank God. Dr. Reku Brobe writes, The Ruler and the Monarch. This will be an interesting piece to read. as the Otumfo celebrates 20 years, so you might want to read it. NDC is being disingenuous with NHIS collapsing claims, according to the Deputy Minister. Remember, this follows a press conference that the NDC had and said the NHIS did way better under the NDC than the NPP. Rawlings urges Agbeko to victory. He's got a bout on Good Friday, and the former president says he's essentially assuring him that the whole country is behind him. Yes, we are. We want him to defend this title. Competition for $100,000 McDonald Entrepreneurship Challenge prize enters the final phase. Government announces plans to train youth to fix street lights. Hey! The Minister for Youth and Sport has said that his outfit will soon introduce a program to train the youth in how to repair broken down street lights across the country. For real. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. On this note, let me say a very special birthday because a very, very good friend is celebrating his birthday today. Prince Charles Edubrenya, you're in Takrady right now. It's your birthday today. Happy, happy, happy birthday.
And you've forgotten.
You. And I haven't forgotten because you celebrate your birthday with one of our own, Benjamin Kwabena, aka Omahene. It's your birthday today as well.
Kwabena Sante.
Yeah. Omahene Kwabena Sante is celebrating his birthday. And you, Prince Charles Edubrenya, enjoy your birthday today. If it's your birthday, we haven't mentioned you, well, enjoy your birthday today. We'll take sports. When we come back, we'll do AM business, and then we'll talk about how things went down in courts yesterday. Our court correspondent, Joseph Akable, will be here. We'll talk about the NDC's national chairman and a deputy communications officer who are facing some charges in court.